to whoever can read this, I need help. I need someone who can make this stop. I only want to know how I can get him to stop looking at me. Stop watching. Let me explain. Have you ever had deja vu? That sense you've seen or experienced something before but can't really pinpoint it? It's like that, but unsettling. I know this guy. I've seen him so many times before, but he keeps watching. He keeps looking at me with those cold, gray eyes. If I had to pinpoint it, this all started about a month ago. I work at a thrift store. Regular, boring, 9 to 5. Same strange customers here and there, a few homeless people wandering in. Your regular clientele. But there was one regular that I just couldn't get out of my mind. It was a Wednesday, I believe, right at the start of June when I first noticed him. Middle-aged man, t-shirt, shorts, heavy set, but not anything I've seen before. I've worked at this job for over 5 years and seen every manner of person walk through the doors of the store, but there was something immediately off about this customer. Something discolored. I remember that first day perfectly. I worked in the back of the store processing donations, so the only time I happen to interact with customers is when I walk to the time punch machine on my breaks and lunch. I have to walk to the store to click it and use my badge, so I never get a chance to interact with customers. Every now and again, I happen to strike up a conversation or someone asks me a question, but I can remember on this specific day he stood near the entrance, moving some women's tops on the clothing rack, just watching the employee door at the back of the store. No real expression on his face. No malicious grins or smiles like you'd see in a horror movie. Just watching. As I walked out of the processing area, I immediately had this feeling I was being watched. That third sense you might have. Walking to the punch machine, I happened to catch his eyes, and I locked in with him and smiled and waved, and he immediately looked down at the clothes and went about his way. Plenty of customers peer through the back doors, trying to catch a glimpse of donations or items about to be brought out, so I thought nothing of it. The next day, however, he did the same thing. Same look, same outfit, same position even. Just moving one clothing item left to right, never looking away from the employee door. I walked out this next day, as I've done hundreds of times before, to go on my lunch break, but again, felt this feeling of being watched. Again, we made eye contact. I smiled and waved, and repeatedly, he looked down at the clothes he was leafing through. No expression, no malice, but something felt wrong. Lunchtime passed, and when I clocked back in after 45 minutes, I can remember scanning the sales floor for the man. I wanted to see if he had stayed, or at least bought something, but mostly to see where he was. Let me express at this point, nothing seemed inherently off about him. Besides his seeming fascination with the employee door, at least. Maybe he was just lost in thought or daydreaming and happened to be staring in that direction. The rational part of me talked myself into a slumber of assurance. I was at work, after all. Security cameras, plenty of clientele, and, for sure, plenty of strange characters walking through the front door every day. But when I looked back at those first 2 moments when I saw him, this little voice in the back of my head was screaming that I was being watched. I was being looked at, specifically, apart from anyone else. My next 2 shifts passed without seeing him. When I'd walk out on my breaks or lunch, I'd pass through the sales floor. I could feel an unease, and I would scan the store floor for the man. No sign of him. We get plenty of regulars, and some even know us by name. Resellers who try and find the special items they can list online. They'll watch us work, hoping to catch a rare collectible item in the hopes of getting a deal. Maybe that's who this man was. Just a collector or reseller, hoping to get a bargain. On plenty of occasions, I would see other customers eyeing the carts of goods or watching the employees put things on the shelf to get their first grab at something they wanted. As unsettling as his gaze was, that's what it had to be. Yeah, that's it. He was just one of many. I saw him every day. This relief kept me sane through the next few days until on the Monday of the next week. Walking out, I felt that familiar feeling of being watched and made eye contact with the same man, except this time his outfit had changed. Same hair, same face, and similar gaze, but he was wearing a hat now. A simple baseball cap, all black, except for big, bold text in white that read, "Hello." Probably some goofy brand or Etsy custom hat he had bought, I thought. But as before, he was just leafing through the same women's tops near the entrance of the store, not breaking his gaze for a moment until our eyes met. Those gray eyes, unblinking, intense, and so focused. What was he looking for? At that moment, I decided against what my gut told me. I needed to figure out who he was, or at least what he was doing. If not to understand his motives, but at least ease my discomfort with his staring. After clocking out, I walked over to him. "Hey, is there anything I can help you with?" I said, using my most cheerful customer service voice. No response. He didn't even look up from the women's tops he was staring at. He was just leafing through them, one top at a time, almost methodically. I coughed. "Hey man, I like your hat," I said, trying to make light of the discomfort that was quickly building in my stomach. Still no response. He just continued moving the clothes, one hanger at a time. "My name's Victor. Noticed you a few times in the store," I said. "Is there anything specific you were shopping for?" All my training and customer service skills in full swing, now doing what I could to befriend this stranger. But again, nothing. Just staring down at the clothes. "Well, I'm always here if you have any questions," I said, finally realizing he wasn't going to respond. Maybe he was anxious, or maybe even deaf. Yeah, maybe that was it. He was older, could have had a hard time hearing me. I turned to walk towards the door, and as soon as my hand touched the handle, I turned around almost instinctively. That same third eye sensation that I was being watched had perked up in the back of my head that very second, and I don't know why, but I just knew it was him. There he was, still leafing through those same clothes, one after the other, but he was looking right at me. His expression seemed tired, not angry or annoyed. I'd talked to him, but he was just tired. "Have a nice day," he said in a low-pitched tone. Not raspy, but not completely clear. Almost as if he was trying much too hard to get the words out. "You too," I said, pulling a nice customer service smile. I knew this one was forced. I knew this one was fake. I needed to get out of there. The store, the situation, this guy. I felt at that moment this interaction was a mistake. Believe me when I tell you, there was something wrong about him. I don't know what, but something about that voice, that look, those eyes, something was wrong.